We will be looking at how to scan documents into our desired SharePoint location, whether it's a SharePoint list, library, or a specific folder. Then we'll look into multilingual OCR feature. We'll look into zonal OCR feature. We will create a template together. Once we have the template created, we will do batch scanning. Towards the end, we will look how to print documents. We will convert list items, attachments into PDF files. We can save them locally, or we can just proceed with printing all done in just a couple of clicks. So I'm going to share my screen now, and let's just dive into the demo. I believe you see my screen. So the good news here is that you can easily scan documents directly into your desired SharePoint list, library folder, ensuring your documents are exactly where you need them. So all you have to do is go into the desired SharePoint library, list, or folder and initiate the scan from there. So currently I'm in my document library called quotes. So let's scan a document here. I'll click on the three dots and then click Scan Documents. So here we have three options presented to us. Let's go quickly over each one. So the first one, edit settings and scan. So in this mode, we will see the scan settings and we will be able to configure the scan settings before starting the scan. Once scanning is complete, we will see a preview of our scanned files and we will be able to edit them before uploading them to SharePoint. Scan using default settings. So in this mode, we will not see scan settings page. The scan will use the default settings configured for that list or library. And once scanning is complete, we will see a preview of the scanned files and we will have the option to edit them before uploading them to SharePoint. And the last option is called quick scan. So in this mode, we will not see the scan settings page. We will not see the preview of the scanned files. The entire scanning is run in the background without user interaction or preview. So for my first example, I'm going to use quick scan, but one thing I want to show you here is I have a template here created, so I don't want to use any templates. All I want to do is just use basic scan functionality to quickly scan my document. So we'll click on the scan button. And now I'm going to select my scanner. So I have only one. If you have multiple scanners, you'll select your scanner. So remember, in this mode, we do not see the scan settings page and we do not see the preview of the scanned file. Once scanning is complete, we will be redirected to that SharePoint library where the file will be uploaded. Okay, so this was pretty quick and easy. Now, if you see here, I have some fields. I can go in edit mode and manually update these fields. But let's take a step further. Let's scan again the same file, but this time I'm going to use that zonal OCR template that I've created earlier. So all I'll do is just click quick scan because I have configured that template as a default. So it will use my template. Later, what we're going to do, we will delete that template and we will create one together. So you see how easy it is to create zonal OCR templates. Okay, so this time I have scanned the file and I used my zonal OCR template. As you can see, all the fields have been automatically populated for me. Isn't that nice? Okay, so now let's scan one more file. And this time we'll use a different mode. So let's use scan using default settings. We will select our scanner again. So the scanning is in progress. I don't know if you can hear my scanner in the background. So now let's take a look at some options we have here. That's the preview of our scan file. So first of all, we have some options. We can click here on this image. Of course, we can view our scanned file. We can crop it. So we have sliders here. We can move the sliders and crop it the way we would like it. What else can we do? We can adjust the brightness and contrast, sharpen our document. So if we would like, we can import more documents locally from our computer. We can reorder our documents. We can rotate our documents. If there are documents we don't like, we can simply delete them. Here on the profiles, we can configure our scanners. So we can add a new one, we can edit existing one, we can delete the ones we don't want. And now let's look at the OCR settings. These are multilingual OCR settings. So currently we have English, but if you want any other language, you simply come here, select the language you would like, and then click download. So what this will do is it will turn your scanned files into readable PDF or into documents. So we will take a look at it quickly. And then if you want to scan any further files, you can do so by clicking scan option on our menu. Okay, so if we are happy with this, we can upload and save. And now we can make any changes if we would like to. It looks good to us. So we can simply click save. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at the settings. So we'll go to Quiz Apps settings page. Now this is taking us to all the features, rich features. So we have, this can be dynamic column formations, intelligent smart forms, workflows, but we're looking right now at Scan App. So we'll click at the Scan App. Now, the first thing to mention is that we can configure our Scan App settings for the site, and it will include all the document libraries in our site that we're scanning into, or we can configure the Scan App settings for a specific document library. So let's configure our Scan App settings for our specific document library. So first you can set the default file name. So we can delete whatever we have here. We can write some hard-coded words here. So let's say I know I'm scanning quotes only here, so I can write quote. And then we can insert some dynamic tokens. Maybe I want the current user. You can also insert some columns from your library or list. So let's say we want also the date. And maybe let's also insert the time. If you can have the option to overwrite existing files by clicking the checkbox, and then you can set the default output format of your files. So currently it's PDF. You can set the default pages per file. You have the option to compress large files before uploading them, and you can specify here. File handling, so currently we're scanning into a single file by default, but you can change this. And then if you would like to give users some more options, you can change here in the settings. Or maybe you don't want, maybe you want your users to use only quick scan, the way you have configured your list or library. So here, remember, we have this zonal OCR template created. I have created it earlier. We're going to delete this template and we're going to create one together. So let's click save to save our settings. So we'll go back into our document library. Let's say now I want to scan another file, another document, but I want to scan it in a special folder. Maybe these are special quiz quotes. I want to separate them. So let's create a new folder here. We'll call this folder special quotes. And let's create the folder. So remember, if I would like to save the files in that folder, I'll simply go into the folder, and then I'm going to initiate the scan from here. So let's click Scan Documents one more time. And this time, let's use the first option, Edit Settings and Scan. So here we have some options we can change. And I know we have configured this in the backend, but we also allowed, we gave the option to our users to make changes. But if you don't want, you can disable this from the backend. So that looks good. Let's click Scan. Let's select our scanner. And the scanning is now in progress. So what we will be doing now, we will be creating a zonal OCR template together. Okay, so this is my scanned file. I'm going to select that. And now we're going to click on Map Properties. So let's start mapping the properties. Here at the bottom, I have Add a Mapped Column. So I'll click and then I can select. So first, let's say maybe we want to do the company name. And this is if you have different types of documents, you need to create a template for each kind of documents you have. So for example, here I have quiz quotes. I know all quiz quotes, they look similar, very similar. For example, the date is on the top left side, the quote number is on the top right side. So everything is exactly where I expect them to be. So I can create a template for this kind of documents. If I have another kind of documents, I will need to create a template for that type of documents as well. Okay, so quote date. Again, this is a one-time thing we're doing. We're going to save this template so others can use it as well. We can save it in the list settings. Let's select more columns, quote ID. And you see this is becoming a bit crowded here. So what I can do is instead of displaying all, I'll do display only selected. And this one was the quote ID. Okay. And let's see what else we have. We'll also choose account, the last one. Okay, so this looks good. Now we can come here and click on extract values. And we see everything has been extracted correctly, the dates, everything is correct. Now let's rename our template. So we can call the template quiz quotes template, let's say. We can save them. So we can save them locally, or we can save to list settings so other people can use as well. And if we have multiple templates, we can choose to set it as default. Okay, so looks good. Let's click save and then upload and save. If we want to make changes, we can make changes here. That looks good to us. So we have scanned our quote using the template, the zonal OCR template, and we have saved it under special quotes. So now that we have the template created, let's do bulk scanning. Let's bulk scan some quotes. Let's see how many quotes I have here. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 quotes. I'm going to scan all these quotes using the template we just created together. So let's go click on scan. And we will click on the first option again. Now, I have 3 quotes, so I don't want to scan them into a single file. You can do so if you want to. Well, I want to scan them into multiple files because these are separate quotes. I want to use the OCR feature zonal. I want to use the template that I've created. Again, if we have multiple templates, we can simply click here and choose the correct template. The name is correct. Everything looks great. So we will click on the scan button. We'll select our scanner. And the scanning is in progress. Okay. So we'll see now the preview of the files. So I can just upload and save right from here, but if I would like to double check to ensure everything has been extracted correctly, see, this is the first document, 1 out of 3. So everything looks good. We can go to the second one, looks great. And the third one, that looks good too. So we can simply save and close, and then we can do upload and save. Okay, so these are, see, a few seconds ago, all these 3 documents have been scanned. Everything has been automatically extracted by using the template we have created. Okay, so next, let's see how we can print documents. So I'm going to my sales leads list. Let's just ensure we're at the right spot. Yes. And here now I can select items. Some of the items have attachments, and I can just click on print. So here we have some options available to us. We can choose what to print. We can include attachments. We can do item properties only or attachments only. Let's include attachments. We can select the page size, orientation. We can all set this as a default in the backend. We'll take a look at it shortly. So we can define page margins. We have the option to include header and footer and watermark. So we will click on the preview button. This is going now to generate the preview of our documents, and we can still make some changes before proceeding with printing. I do have some attachments there too. So we are going to see now the preview. Okay, perfect. So we see the preview of our files. So the first one, and then we have an attachment, and then the second list item. Now, if you see here, I have some form customization here. I used quiz form. This is another topic. We won't talk about it, but if you're interested, don't hesitate to contact us. So we can always demonstrate you our other products as well. So one thing I wanted, yes, to highlight is that my printing respects my form customization. So we are printing our customized form. We have here some, for example, here we have watermark, we have header and footer, and these are all dynamic. We will see it very shortly. So from here, I have the option to convert these files into a PDF and save it locally on my computer, or I can simply proceed with printing by clicking the print icon. Okay, so now let's go back into the settings page. This time we're looking at print option. And same as with scanning, we can, of course, inherit the site settings from here, or we can configure the settings for the specific list or library. So let's click at the page layout settings. Here we can define the page size, orientation, whether it's landscape or portrait, page margins we can define. We have the option to allow our users to customize page layouts. But if we don't want, we can uncheck the box. And then we have the option to define header and footer, and these are fully dynamic header and footer. So here, for example, I have quiz logo. On the left side, I have a dynamic token list, so it's going to print the list name, the date. In the footer here, I have printed by me dynamic token, the time, date, and then number of pages. And again, we have the option to allow users to remove header and footer. And then if we go back to the menu, the last option, watermarks, I have included the watermark, company name Quizcom. I choose the layout diagonal. And then again, you can make some changes here. So that's pretty much what I have planned today. I wanted to mention that both printing and scanning features are available for a free trial. So it's 2 weeks, fully functional license. It's just time limited. If you're interested, please contact me and I will be glad to help you set up the free trial.